International trade once thrived on free-flowing agreements, but the Trump administration's tariffs upended decades of stability. These tariffs, aimed at protecting American industries from Chinese competition, sparked a global trade war. The US and China exchanged tariffs, sending shockwaves through global markets and disrupting established supply chains. For Japan, a nation deeply reliant on exports and intricate supply networks, this was a major alarm. Japanese companies with factories in China and customers in the US suddenly faced new costs and uncertainty. Tariffs on Chinese-made goods hit Japanese firms hard, even if the products were Japanese in origin. The rules of global trade were being rewritten overnight, forcing Japan to rethink its economic strategies. The US-China dispute wasn't just about those two giants, it threatened the entire system Japan depended on. This was the start of a seismic shift in Japan's approach to global trade. Japanese corporations felt the impact of US tariffs immediately. Costs soared, profits shrank, and supply chains were thrown into chaos. Companies had to choose absorb losses, raise prices, or overhaul their operations. Many accelerated the China Plus One strategy, moving production to Vietnam, Thailand, or Malaysia to reduce risk. The trade war exposed the dangers of over-reliance on China and forced Japanese firms to diversify suppliers and locations. Some shifted US-bound production out of China, while others invested in automation at home to stay competitive. The tariffs didn't just disrupt products, they rattled the entire network of suppliers, logistics, and planning. In short, the trade war became a catalyst for Japanese industry to become more resilient and adaptable. The US-China trade war put Japan in a diplomatic bind. Caught between its security ally, the US, and its top trading partner, China, Japan couldn't afford to alienate either side, so it walked a careful line. With the US, Japan emphasized alliance and sought exemptions from tariffs, negotiating deals like the US-Japan trade agreement. With China, Japan kept dialogue open, urging stability and rules-based trade while quietly encouraging companies to diversify. This dual-track diplomacy became Japan's signature approach: strengthen the US alliance but keep economic ties with China intact. Japan's balancing act was about survival, protecting its interests in a world of superpower rivalry. Navigating this tightrope defined Japanese foreign policy in the new era. Japan didn't just react, it led. After the US left the Trans-Pacific Partnership, Japan revived it as the CPTPP, uniting 11 Pacific Rim nations in a new free trade bloc. Japan also joined the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, linking it with China, South Korea, and ASEAN countries. These moves signaled Japan's commitment to free trade and regional stability, even as the US turned inward. By building new trade networks, Japan reduced its reliance on any single market and fostered growth closer to home. Japan's push for regional agreements was pragmatic, not anti-American, a way to hedge against global uncertainty. These deals standardized rules, lowered tariffs, and protected intellectual property, making trade smoother for Japanese businesses. In a fragmented world, Japan's regional pivot gave it more options and greater resilience. The future of trade in Asia was being shaped by Japan's proactive leadership. The Trump-era tariffs were a wake-up call for Japan, exposing the risks of overdependence on any one country. Japan's response: diversify, adapt, and lead. While some speculated about joining alternative blocs like BRICS, Japan stayed committed to the G7 and the rules-based order. Its strategy is multi-layered: strengthen US ties, deepen Asian integration, and encourage companies to spread risk. Japan isn't seeking revolution, but resilience. The rivalry between the US and China will shape the future, but Japan aims to be an architect, not a bystander. By reinforcing alliances and forging new partnerships, Japan is securing its prosperity and influencing the global economic order. In this new era, Japan's adaptability and leadership will be crucial for its own future and for the world's.